like everything I do, that is a work in progress. So that was the new countdown clock. Latest picture of John from his profile and my picture, and then two logos together. Now, those two logos, as you could see, one was Invideo, the fish logo, and the second logo was Be.Live. Now, Molly Mahoney announced last night that Be.Live and Invideo are working together. At which point, I'm going to get back to what we're actually here to talk about today and say, hello, John.
Hello, Stephen.
Right, it's good to see you again. And to everybody who's watching, please do say hello, and we shall show your comments on screen. And the way that this works is simple and straightforward. Having met John and myself, I simply say, John, it's over to you.
Okay, so we've got a tutorial this week, and after the tutorial, at some stage, I'm also going to do a screen share, because only a few minutes before we went live, there was a question about tilting assets, whether that be text, video, or whatever, in Invideo. So I thought we might as well do that live on screen. So
live training.
Yeah, the tutorial is about creating your own customized intro based on a logo. So do you want to fire away, Stephen, with the video?
Just make sure I've got the right one.
Yeah, that's the right
one. Okay. Say hello to Chris.
Hi, Chris.
And well, this is the point at which we switch our cameras off. Well, we put that full screen. So I'll put that full screen, and we switch the microphones off. And for the next 22 minutes, John will go through with his instructional video.
Tutorial is about creating your own customized intro logo video, and you should have fun with this. Now, I've used CorelDRAW in this because that's my favorite program for doing logos and things in, but any program that allows you to export transparent PNGs will do the job fine. Enjoy. One of the questions in the group this week was, can I make my own animated customized logo intro? And the answer, of course, is yes, you can, provided you've got a logo that you can break up into elements. So what I've done here is, this is my logo. I think you've seen it on many of the projects that I've shown over the weeks, and I've put that on a white background that is 1920 by 1080, so that when I export it, I can create PNGs that have a blank background, a transparent background that is, and I can then create all the elements of my logo so that I can animate each element individually. So what we've got here is my logo, and it was designed in CorelDRAW, and it consists of a number of elements, as you can see. So there's a black background, there's the word think, there's the word undo. Yes, that really is an upside down eye, and there are the different colors. Red, so you can see here that we've got red, green, blue, and we've got CMYK colours in it. So we've got the white and the black, which form part of CMYK, and then we've got cyan, magenta and yellow. So RGB for red, green, blue, C for cyan, M for magenta, Y for yellow, and K is black, and W CMYK. Yep, so that gives us all our different colours. Hence, that's what my logo is all about. So, having made that, I've got 2 copies of it now. And the idea being that I can copy things from the master onto the edit. So what I'm going to do, and I won't show you every bit of this, but you'll get the principle, is I'm going to export different elements on the transparent background so that I can ensure I'm positioning them on top of each other correctly, but can apply an individual animation to each element of the things. Now, it's made up of a black background, the words think, the words and do, and I'm going to split each of those up now. And I'm going to show you how I do that simply by deleting the bits I don't want on each thing. So we're going to start with the black background. So having done that, what I'm going to do is select all of it, and then I'm going to go to export. Okay, so now I'm in export, and I'm going to decide first of all where it's going to be saved. So I'm going to go to here, and we've got logo intro here. So I'm going to export this, and I'm going to call this background. Background. Okay, and I'm going to export it. I'm going to export it as a PNG. I'm going to export it with transparency, and I'm going to not worry about the fact that it wants to export it to 1081 instead of 1080. And so I'm going to say OK. And now if I nip over here, I go to oh, I could have actually gone direct, but never mind. Let's go logo intro. So now if I open that, you can see I've got just the black background. Okay, now that's going to give me my canvas on which I'm going to build my image. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my logo master, because I'm going to use that as a background to ensure I position everything correctly when I move each individual item and place it in Invideo. I will then, when I've got them all in the right place, delete this so that I've then got all the bits that I can animate. So again, I'm going to select everything here. I'm going to export it, and I'm going to call it, in fact I'll leave it as logo master. I'll export it, and I'm not going to worry about the transparency because I want the whole thing to be visible. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to export the individual elements. I'm not going to spend ages going through each one with you, but I will do two so as you can see how it's done, and then I'll do the others without recording. So the first thing I want to do is I want to export the word think. So I simply select think, I select export, I ensure I've got selected only ticked. I'm going to call it think.png. You can see I tested it before I did this little bit of video, and export it. Yes, and you can see I'm exporting the word think without a background. Okay, because I've got transparency ticked. So let's go OK, and then I'm going to click off that and I'll export this yellow here. Okay, so I'm going to export that again in the same method. So I'm going to call this yellow, so I know what goes where. Export, and you can see I'm exporting that now. Okay, now the one thing I have learnt is that I will have to resize these a little bit when I actually bring them in to Invideo. Okay, so now you can see I've got all the elements that I need to make up the logo: the background, the word think, the undo, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different coloured circles. Okay, so I've now got all of those elements. The next task is to bring them into Invideo. So you can see I'd already bought the mastering, which is now on the background of there, and because I've got 9 elements, the background 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 elements. Just for the purposes of this, I've made it 9 seconds. You'll be able to change it to do whatever you want, but I've made this one 9 seconds. So what I'm going to show you is bringing in the elements. I'm only going to bring a couple of them in just to show you how it's done. So I'm going to bring in the background, open, and you can see there it is. I'm going to then bring in, let's say we bring in the yellow dot this time, open, and I'll just show you a last one and then I'll do the rest for here. Let's bring in think. So you can see it's think. Look, when we click on it you can see there, and that's how you bring it in. And we hover over it, you can just see that it's think is there. Okay, so now you can see that I've got all 9 of my elements in. Now I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to move to the advanced timeline. So as I bring them on, you can see that I can move them around. I'm going to make each of them come on 1 second apart. I'm only doing this timing to make it easy. You can make the timings whatever you want them to be. Okay, the second thing I'm going to do is I actually want to make this a bit more visible so that when I line them up I can actually be a little bit more accurate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to reduce this to 50%, and hey presto, this looks very small, yeah, and this looks quite large. What we will do is place the things in, then we'll go back to 100% and then we'll do the elemental timings here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over the word think, and you can see it's not quite the size we'd like. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it from the edge till it roughly lines up by eye, and then we're going to move it over the top. We're going to then have to make some minor adjustments here to make it exactly the same. So that's brought on the word think, and as before I'm not going to make you watch me do all of them, so I'll just bring on yellow and then I'll do the other bits, and then we'll go back then and do to 100% and do that. So let's add the yellow. Okay, and as you can see it comes over absolutely massive. Oh, we've got 2 of them. I did double click, and what we'll do again is we'll make it roughly the right size, move it over to here, and then we'll bring it to fit from both sides. I think it just needs it. Now you can get fine adjustment of placing using the keyboard. Okay, and let's just see, that looks just a smidgen too big, and let's move that up and down, and I'm pretty confident that that's roughly the right size. In fact, I think it's actually just a little tiny bit too big. Now this is just where I'd wish you had a little bit more control over element placings here. Okay, you can see it's still a bit too big, and if we go this way, once we've got the first one right size wise, the others will be easy to do. And you can see we need to move it over to the left a bit now, but I'm pretty confident we're there now. Okay, so I'll just bring in another one. Let's bring in this one. Let's make it quite small, bring it here, and then you can see that we can get a line on the bottom and a line on the top, and hey presto, we've got pretty accurate version there. I'll do the rest and stop this recording for now. Okay, so now I've got all the elements on, and I'm going to go back to 100%. Okay, so now I can look at my elements on here or on my layers on here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of Logo Master. And hey presto, there. Oh, but there is a little problem. It's now totally black on black. So what I need to do is unlock, go and edit the background, and I want my background to be white. Okay, but now we're missing something. Okay, so I'm still missing an element, and in fact what I need to do is bring the black background on, and I need to make that the same size as the whole of the image. Okay, there, and then that's image 10, so let's rename that. Logo underscore black. Okay, and that needs to go all the way down but sit above there, and then presto, you can now see my image and all my individual elements, and it looks pretty damn good. So let's click on this, go to layers, and let's rename that Think. Okay, so we're going to rename this Think. And that's in the right place there. Okay, so now you can see I have renamed all the elements. I didn't want to bore you to death and make you watch me doing the elements, and again you can see they're all over here. Okay, so now we're in the advanced timeline and we can make things happen. So I want the logo to start black, to come on at the beginning and be there, but then I want the other things to come on, so I'm going to move Think to come on half a second after that started. Half a second after that started roughly, and then what we're going to do is bring the other stuff on roughly a second after each thing, and we're going to move up and do it with all the different elements. So we're going to give them, now you probably wouldn't do this in real world, but this is just to show you how you can step things in. You would probably want them to step in a lot quicker. But we're doing it quickly so that we can show you what we're doing. You can see by the way that you can use your mouse wheel to move up and down here. Okay, so let's take magenta and drop that in there, and then let's take yellow and drop that in there. So now if we play the scene, okay, horror of horrors, it looks awful, and that's because we've got to get rid of a default that I positively hate and keep asking, would they please get rid of? Because any layer that's a picture has, if we go to edit and we go to image animation, they all have an in place, and really it doesn't want an in place. Please, 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 can we make them default to none? I'm going to go through all of them again and make all of those default, but I won't make you watch me do it. Okay, so now I'm going to export this and we can see what it looks like. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this horrible Mr. Princeton track. I don't know why they use this as default. It drives me balmy. but I suppose something's got to be default, so let's delete it and let's go to music. Now this is a corporate thing, so I'm going to go to corporate. There's a whole loads and loads and loads of stuff. I'm just going to choose this one here. It comes in wherever you've got this. Let's just slide it to the front. Okay, I'm going to edit it because I'm going to trim it, and I need to trim it down to literally just 9 seconds so I can get roughly right. Stop it playing, zoom in, and then I can accurately get it to where I want. Now I'm actually a tiny fraction over, but I'm not really going to worry too much about that because I'm going to put a fade on the end. So let's click done. Okay, and then I'm going to try and see how it sounds with a 1 second fade. So let's play the scene. Takes a few seconds to think about it. Okay, that's not too bad, but I'm actually gonna up my fade a little bit. So let's play it again. Okay, and that's much better. Okay, so the last thing we can do is we can add animation. So we can take each individual effort and add some animation. Now, we're not going to have any going out because we want it to all happen and stay as a solid block when we've finished. So we're going to look at the in place, and there's loads and loads and loads of things for you to choose from. So let's have this one fly in from down, and I'm going to leave it at 1 second because we want this to happen pretty regularly. In fact, actually, I'm going to cut it down and make it happen in 0.8 of a second. I'm then going to go to undo, and we can add an animation, even an animation again. Let's choose something there, and I'm going to go, I'm going to have it bouncing from the left, and again I'm going to knock that to 0.8 seconds, and then I'm going to have these, and I'm just going to simply have these come in from the right. So going to have it slide in from the right, shift slide in from the right, and again I'm going to make this slide in 0.5 seconds, and I'm going to do exactly the same now. I'm going to have slide in from the right, and again I'm going to make that happen in half a second, and I'm going to do that for all of these. I'll do them very quickly now. Slide in from the right. You can see you get a little version of the animation when you hover over it. Okay, so I've made all of those animations into half a second, and now what we'll do is we'll export it and see what it looks like. I'm pretty happy with that, but you can do any kind of animation, any kind of timing you want. This is just to show you the concept of making your own animated logo introduction. I hope you found that useful. There are many other tutorials available on my YouTube channel. See you soon. Bye. Okie dokie.
Yep. You say goodbye, I say hello. Right, that's just in reference to Fonz's rendition of Imagine by John Lennon, where he's ripped off the everything apart from the vocals and guitar, actually. Right, okay, now you did say that looked far more impressive than a static image, I have to say. And all good. Now, you mentioned something else earlier before we came live.
It obviously doesn't have to be a logo. You can do that with anything, really, to create an intro. Now, just before we kicked off, there was a question well, not a question, a request in the group for the ability to change the angle of text, videos, etc. You can already do it. So I thought what we'd do is share my screen and I'd just show people how it's done.
Okay.
So if I click screen share, Chrome tab, Invideo, share, and hopefully you can
We're
find
practicing this morning, so anything can happen. Probably will. I'm trying to find the screen share. Okay, does that look familiar, John? It will be with us in a second. Is that familiar?
yes, that's the one.
Right, okay. In which case, I'm going to hide, and it's over to you.
And now I can't find it. Where's it gone?
Well, you can you see the tab or not?
No.
Is that the wrong?
No, that's the correct tab, but
Yeah.
I can't find it to operate it now.
How many tabs have you got open?
Not that many.
Not much. When you say not that many, all right, less than 10 or more than 10?
Oh, more than 10.
Oh, wow. I've only got 2 tabs open. What am I doing wrong?
You need to add the great pretender. No, the great suspender to your...
So it will snooze.
It snooze those that are not active.
Right, okay. It's the tab with you on. Well, if you... It says build your scene, and it's got tulips on it.
Yeah, but can I find it? I found it in the thing, but can't find it on here.
Right. Chris is saying in relation to the video, John's instructional video, wow, this is super. So there you are. Kudos to you, John. And if you can't find the tab, we're going to struggle here. But close every other tab.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
No, that's this here. But can I find it?
Okay, and we've got some. Yeah, we can see both John and the screen on our side. Good. Yeah, we've got the screen. It's just John. Sorry, John can't locate the tab.
Shall we close it and I'll go back in again? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hide that. It's back to me.
I found it, Stephen. Hey. Oh. What it does is it changes the little thing on the tab into a oblong, and I'm looking for the thing. So, can you see it now? And
we can see it. Yeah, we can see it, John.
And if I do this, I can change the angle of text. So that's
okay.
24, and that's plus 36.43. So that's some text. This is a video, and I can do the same with the video. And this is a picture. I can do the same with the picture.
So any object on screen can be rotated, and you're actually being given the degree of rotation.
There. Now, what I'd really love to do, of course, is to be able to change the point where it rotates from to a corner. But at the moment, you can't do that. But you can change the angle and then move it to wherever you want. And just to prove that that's a video, I'll play the scene. And you can see it's a video moving. And that really is just to show. So once more, you grab the handle, you move it round, it tells you the angle so that if you want to do all your things at 12, You can so. And now they're all at the same angle. Hope that helps. I'm going to stop sharing this tab now.
I'm glad you found it, because I am glad that you found it. I'm going to bring myself back on screen.
I'm looking for the Invideo logo in the tab, and it doesn't. It changes it to a picture of a screen. And that's why I couldn't find the tab.
All's well that ends well. Right, now before we go, we're going to run over by about 2 minutes. Overrun, in actual fact. We have a video by Corinda. This week in the UK, just to give you the background, the first vaccination actually took place, and Corinda is celebrating that fact with a short video made on Invideo. So let's bring up Corinda's video and make it full screen. And basically switch microphones off and press play. Just a minute. Give me a second. Give me a second. Right, I didn't know. I did watch that through first, and I didn't quite know what to expect. The aspects that stood out for me, obviously, Pfizer and the first vaccinations, but the fact that one of the first people vaccinated was William Shakespeare was, that was just pure genius to actually juxtapose a picture of the original, well, one of the original William Shakespeare's with, that's just mind-blowing. So thank you, Corinda, and Karen enjoying Invideo. Yeah.
Quite sure what the Happy New Year 2015 was about, though.
That was supposed to be subliminal.
All right.
I don't know. Basically, it could have been for the background, the fireworks. I don't know. Perhaps one day we'll get Corinda to join us and can actually explain his way of designing videos. Because we all have our own ways. There are no rights and wrongs. They're just our way, and that's the right way. So thank you, Corinda. Right. Okay, now we've got one more episode before Christmas. What we're going to do?
Christmas special then, won't we?
After a Christmas special. No German carol singing, I promise. I won't bring any German carol singing in. But I will.
A tutorial that shows you how to make a Christmas video.
Good idea, because that's absolutely brilliant, because that's a week before Christmas, and people then got chance they've got a week to actually create their videos. So that's priceless. John, we're overrunning by 5 minutes 42 seconds, so it is definitely over to you.
Okie doke. Well, thanks for those that visited, and if you watch the replay, hope you enjoy it, but just comment with the word replay so that we know you've been watching it, and we'll see you next week and we will do a tutorial on creating a Christmas video. See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.